Evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to all of you. This is the Blub World Web Talk episode 188. नमस्कार, आप सभी का स्वागत है ब्लब वर्ल्ड वेब टॉक के 188वें एपिसोड में। इसके पहले के 187 एपिसोड में हमने करीबन करीबन 3000 से ज्यादा स्कूल लीडर से बातचीत की और उनसे ये जानने और समझने की कोशिश करी कि शिक्षा कैसे बदल रही है और वो शिक्षा को कैसे बदल रहे हैं। Thank you so much everyone once again for joining us. Today in this 188th episode, we'll try to know from our amazing speakers something that's very basic to the fabric of education. The schools within a country are responsible to make passive learners into active learners, and the higher education is supposed to convert that active learner into a doer, somebody who can change the society. So let's try to know from our speakers today that in this whole process of making doers in the society, what exactly is missing in the school ecosystem when we talk of career counseling. Career counseling is something which is kind of a mystical topic because it is so much perception driven that facts do not find the right place. So how can that perception be replaced by factual things and changes that are happening and coming in the industry? And how does that impact employability? For this, let me invite the first speaker for today to set the ball rolling and put in the perspective of higher education, what he thinks really matters in this debate, and what should we be trying to, the kind of questions that we must be asking school leaders related to this. Let me invite the first speaker for today, Dr. Shoury Kuttapa, the Academic Manager and Counselor, Directorate of Admissions and Academic Outreach for Amrita Vidyapeetham, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Dr. Shoury, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm welcome.
Daksh, thank you so much for that, for those opening lines. I had something else in mind, but I'd like to take a leaf from what you're talking about. Career counseling is a youth's decision of which career path to choose. Is often guided by two kinds of exploration. When we say career counseling, I see broadly. Of course, it's just a perspective, but I see broadly there are two aspects to it. One is internal, one is external. Yeah, just trying to put just trying to bring some facts into this. The internal or self-exploration part of career counseling is reflection of oneself and focuses on defining and exploring one's own interests, values, experiences, dreams, and career goals. It is cognitive, internal, and involves personal reflection as well. It could include completing questionnaires, assessments. As a result of self-exploration, individuals obtain a clearer perspective on their own desires and abilities. Yeah. The other side of it, the external or environmental exploration, involves more active process of collecting new information on jobs, organizations, companies, occupations, or industries, and allows for more informed decision making vis-a-vis careers. This type of exploration may include informational interviewing, computer research, job shadowing, internships, and so on and so forth. While these two are independent, they are not exclusive. Self-exploration can also include soliciting and discussing feedback with others. Environmental exploration can contain cognitive reflection of personal experiences in interviews, employment settings, etc. Then, if I have time, I'll just come back to 3 points which I felt we were somehow missing in our scheme of things. Number one is, in all the counseling sessions, we somehow miss out on the personal dreams aspects of it. One of the major challenges an education counselor faces is the students' uncertainty to share their aspirations, thoughts, and dreams out of fear of being judged or being repressed. Number two, I think, is the lack of accessibility of a credible career assessment tool. There are a host of questionnaires, assessment tools, but somehow the accessibility to a credible tool is still missing in some parts. And point number three, I think, is parental preferences. Parents have dreams, but the real problem occurs when that comes in the way of the students to pursue what aspires them the most. If I have time, maybe I'll add a fourth point: the scarcity of career counselors, the scarcity of trained career counselors to conduct workshops is probably dawning in India, which is a country that's currently waking up to this reality.
Sorry, sir, you, I think, have most aptly put the dot points to the complete discussion that what exactly needs to be talked about. You've created a very good skeleton for the whole discussion. Let me try to summarize it so that the other people can take cues from it and then take the discussion forward. You talked about there are two types of factors that influence this youth decision. I think this is very important element because when you talk of youth decision making, they already don't know decision making and they have to take decisions that impact their whole life. So this is a critical juncture when you have to do something which you have no idea about. And that you have to do on the basis of someone else's perception and understanding. Mostly, I think the influencing factors that you talked about, which involve uncertainty of being judged, lack of accessibility of credible career counseling, parental preferences, scarcity of trained career counselors. And I think one important element that comes into the whole discussion is how do we figure out this credibility? Because this credibility is a big anchor question that has not gone anywhere. Whatever somebody is doing at whichever point of time, this becomes a persistent question. And this, rather ruins the whole effort of getting into career counseling.
I just wanted to put my points that what we are missing in the career counseling for the students being working in the school, not to say much about all these things because we have a very good experts with us. But what I suggest that whenever we talk about the school counseling for the students, we always think about the counseling for the highest classes, 9, 10th, 11th, 12th. And what we feel here is that the counseling must be from the primary, or we can say from the middle classes itself. Because career counseling, making the career for the higher studies or for the 9, 10th, 11th, 12th is not only enough, but selection or making career for that, what is important is to guide them from the very beginning. What we are missing is that we are not guiding the students from the beginning. What are the career scopes in the life? Not only in the form of their job security, but in the form of their personality development, their disciplinary part, their what nowadays we are missing for the last 2 days. Reason that students has started like they don't know how to respect the elders, how to respect the teachers and all that. So the moment when they are out from these things in the school, so definitely the same criteria will go into the career also. So in the beginning, in the initial stage, we must guide them that what is most important for the career, not only the academic part. What I have noticed, whenever we call someone for the career counseling and we go for the career counseling, we just say there are the 3 streams into the schools, and either you select the engineering or you select the CA or you select the doctorate. These are the only things which we use to teach them. But this is not only the things, there are so many skill development programs are there. So we must guide them ki skill development is far important than only these 3 traits in the school level. When we talk about the school level, because only teaching them this is your future, you just look what you will select after the 12th, what course you will select after the 10th, not only the point, the personal development. Then apart from that, how to treat the elders, how to behave with them, how to go with the curriculum, and what are the aspects apart from the academic, what other we have. You should know all these things. If all students are not of the same capacity, it is not possible that everyone will be into the same criteria, like they all will get some professions. So apart from profession, we must tell them not only this, we have some other also by which you can earn or you can survive in the life, not only by these 3 traits. So what I prefer कि अगर कहीं ऐसा chance पड़ता है that we wanted to convey them there for the counseling, other than these important 3 segments, we must move for the other job-oriented skills programs for these students as a career purpose.
I think आपने बहुत सारे external factors और ऐसे factors जो कि careers को augment कर सकते हैं, उन पे आपने काफी बातचीत की, जिससे typically it would actually go beyond career counseling, it would go into skill counseling, या कहीं ना कहीं अपनी job security के लिए बच्चा क्या क्या कर सकता है, कौन कौन सी augmented skills हैं जो होनी ही चाहिए with the academic curriculum. Thank you so much, Shailendra. Let me invite the next speaker for today, Mrs. Sonia McPherson, the Headmistress and Vice Principal and Head of Institution from Pune and Gurugram. Sonia ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes and a very warm welcome.
After 93rd episode, I am in 188th episode. Daksh, thank you so much for inviting me. So, taking on from where Shoury sir left and Shailendra sir left, I would like to talk about in 70 lakh college applicants, it is 65 lakh college applicants who compromise on location, course, and college. And it's only the 5 lakh applicants who actually bag the dream college. Another trivia, Shoury sir and Shailendra sir, when you're talking about good career counselors in India, we are talking about India needs 1.4 million career counselors to maintain a globally acceptable student to school counseling ratios. So that was a little trivia which I had to read from my register. Excuse me, Daksh. So with the rise in internet and thanks loads to COVID, our world has shrunk so much and the opportunities available are exponential high. So when we talk about STEM and STEAM, we talk about social sciences, we talk about humanities, the list is endless. Shailendra sir, I'm coming to where you left. I'm going to talk about law, not just Salman Khurshid and Ram Jethmalani. We're going to talk about women and gender studies, which is again a part of humanities. Here, we are looking at famous personalities like Savitribai Phule and Malala. We talk about performing arts. I am just contemplating your talk of doctors, engineers, and lawyers. Performing arts is again face and body expressions of emotions and opinions, which diverges into theater, dance, music, opera, and drama. We come to fine arts, which is again visual art to depict thoughts, which could be through filmmaking. We have many budding artists. Thanks to OTTs like Netflix and Prime, we see many newcomers taking their ventures there. I would like to draw your attention not to Leonardo da Vinci or Pablo Picasso, but to Raja Ravi Verma. Many of you and many of us don't know, he was the first painter actually to idolize gods. So students in arts can go to animation, graphic ads, advertising, designing. When I talk about designing, it is not fashion. It is not about product. It is game designing. It is animation. It is interior. So the distributaries are magnificent. If I talk of commerce, I'm just beginning. It's not just CA and CS. It is CFA, CMA, banking, insurance, and so on and so forth. I haven't touched our army and IAS profession. I am still on humanities. So when we come to science, we talk about engineering, and it is all about product engineering, human engineering, computer engineering. My son is a data scientist, and 5 years back, he never knew he will be a data scientist. So as NEP says, by 2025, we will have professions that we have not heard of. So what skill are we providing? We are talking about career counseling, which is a well-defined process through which a student receives information and support so that they can make a holistic and realistic choice about their career, future, and further education. Daksh, you can give me 2-3 days more and I can talk aloud. But with that, I rest my case.
Sonia ma'am, it was quite a trivia-filled, complete opinion. I would not rather say it an opinion, but I think I would, take it as an extrapolation. And that is the thing that impacts our decision-making a lot, because we directly extrapolate to the Leonardo da Vinci's of the world. And we most of the time forget Raja Ravi Verma, because this is something that we need to understand, that how are things evoluting around us, and are we keeping pace with them, or is our imagination just trying to question everything without any sensibility to it? So thank you so much. Let me invite the next speaker for today, Ms. Harjinder Kaur, Principal of Meerut Public School for Girls from Meerut, Uttar Pradesh. Harjinder ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. आपसे एक विशेष चीज जो हम जानना चाहेंगे, that when you come to tier 2 or tier 3 towns, वहां पे ना इतने जॉब ऑप्शंस पर्कुलेट करते हैं, ना इतने स्किल ऑप्शंस पर्कुलेट करते हैं. वहां पे करियर काउंसलिंग इज जस्ट one piece of information coming from a source which is not credible enough. So what's your thought on that? That is this the right perception?
Good evening, everybody. Actually, like to stick to the topic that has been given, career counseling in school, what's missing. Now, as Daksh has already said, small towns, you've spoken about small towns and big towns, but let me tell you, with this social media platforms, I think every town is a big town, because it's a mind which grows, and irrespective of the place. Of course, there is a lot of movement from small cities to big cities because of this kind of exposure that even children across in the small cities get through the social media. They move towards the big cities, and they yearn to be into the jobs that the big city people also look forward to. Now, sticking to the topic, I completely second Dr. Miss Sonia, who spoke just before me. She spoke about, basically, the issue is, as far as career counseling is concerned, even career counselors, they are a little perplexed these days because of the spectrum that is expanding, the spectrum of the careers which are expanding as we are proceeding, as the world is changing. The post-COVID times have brought huge changes. It's a maze of career options now. I can say there are more than thousands and 10,000 career options available to the students. So there is a kind of, when the child enters this maze, it becomes difficult for the child. Then it becomes more of, as one of the participants said, that it becomes more by chance than by choice. But as one of the speakers said, if it is by choice, it is the parents right from the beginning who can play a role in it, who can identify the potentialities of the child and can ingrain, those ingredients which are required for a particular profession. They can see the strengths of the child, rather than towards the end sending a child to a career counseling who would, as you said, it's a perfectionist approach. Career counseling, it's a perfection-driven kind of activity which the children are exposed to. Rather than this perfection-driven activity, why not help the child right from the beginning, and of course give the right exposures to the children. I'll just talk about something which is very important for school-going children. Places like, since we are close to Noida, places like Kidzania, where there are engagement activities, where there are profession-driven activities, the children get that experience of becoming something. So when we give those role plays to our children at a very young age, they understand what they are passionate about. Because ultimately, as we say, when one is passionate about something and that becomes a career option for the child, then it is, the money comes in plenty and there is peace of mind also. But when it comes by choice towards the end, there may be plenty of money, but of course there is, we say that there is no peace of mind. There is maybe there is no peace of mind. So it's very important to identify the strength of children at a very young age, maybe by the teachers, which is not a very easy task. The parents do play a very big role, and of course the relations, the near relations that may be there in the family, who can guide the child through what the child wishes to do and help at every step. Engage the children in those activities where the child feels, I'm one of those, I'm doing that part. So there, I think it helps a lot. When we say, is it right when it is done at the school? It is right to a very large extent, but it is more of becoming by chance than by choice, because of the maze of career options that we have at present.
70 लाख में से अगर 65 लाख बच्चे वो कॉलेज या इंस्टीट्यूशन चूज कर पाते हैं जो उन्हें चाहिए होता है. So I think it's a lot of chance that's working. There's no choice that is at play. But we all need to understand that can we really think of a system where careers can actually be brought to physical levels? One Kidzania in one city or one institution in one place does not solve the problem. So how to do it at a mass? India में हर बार चैलेंज यही होता है कि जब हम एजुकेशन को रिफाइन करने की कोशिश करते हैं और जैसे ही उसको स्केल करते हैं रिफाइनमेंट खराब हो जाता है. So this is the biggest challenge. When you want to get into the nuances of it and you want to scale it up at the same time, that's where the whole ecosystem of education comes to a halt. और वहीं पे भी I think अभी what we can all feel that what's happening with the NEP, that happens with every policy, that you want to improve the nuances and then you want to scale it up. So that's the biggest what we can say issue that we face in scaling up things in India. So let me invite the next speaker for today, Dr. Neha Dewan, the Principal Director of Dewan Global School from Greater Noida West, Uttar Pradesh. Neha, ma'am, over to you for the next 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and a very warm welcome.
Thank you so much, Daksh. And good evening to all of you. Harjinder ma'am has been my teacher in school. I have studied from MPS Girls Wing. And I've been following talks of Bist sir, and I've heard many speakers here, and it's been such a pleasure to present my views on career counseling and how accurate is your timing. So I must congratulate Blub for that, because this is the time when all the students are, they are seeking advice, they are calling me and calling their mentors, asking for which career option they should choose and which college to go, right? So I would say this choosing a career for them is like, you all must have heard of story of Alice in Wonderland. So it's like Alice entering a wonderland. A child enters a zone where everything sounds beautiful, new and huge. So they hope for very huge amount of success, huge money, huge fame is most of all what they want these days. Why do they actually look for such a thing? Because of the influencers they listen and hear around, because of their parents, because sometimes the parents are always talking about fixed choices. Parents usually want or decide for the career options. Then friends and other are the institutes who actually promote their courses. So other than these, I think these are the main things. And where the missing part in the career counseling is that when they are influenced by so many things and so many options, they actually not given that kind of advice that it's not going to be what they are looking at it. They need to understand the importance of each and every aspect and, understand each and every aspect of life. So including the life skills in career counseling, I think is the very important aspect. Once students who want to become doctors, they just look at the brighter side of becoming a doctor. I think they were never told the other side, the hard work that comes along, the competition that comes along. So I think it should not be just the one side that students see. As a career counselors, as mentors, we should also teach them and tell them that when this dark day comes in your life, how to tackle that dark day mindfully. So this is what, mindfulness in career counseling should be considered to be included immediately. And as a mentor, as a teacher, I always tell them and we should also tell them there's nothing like a failure, because after 2 years, some students doesn't want to continue what they have taken admission in. So from very beginning, we should tell them, yes, it's okay. Okay, you are choosing this career, right? There'll be a dark day. There'll be a day you'll want to have your back to this career. You'll show your back and you want to come back and running back to your home. Ki nahi karna mujhe ye. So that will be okay. What I mean is that this Alice in Wonderland situation, they should be taught that they will be facing a dragon also. Or agar aata hai, if there is a dark day, if there is any kind of dark energy, don't fear that energy. Face it, talk about it, be open about it. This is also very, very important part of career counseling. And I think that is missing because people, institutes, teachers, we all only talk about, the positive sides. We don't want to, talk about the other side. So this is very important for me as of how I treat my students. Thank you so much. And your initiative is great at the right time, actually. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Neha ma'am. And आपने जो बातें कही है, to summarize them, I think you started with the Alice in the Wonderland, and I think हमारी सारी Alice in Wonderland में ही है, क्योंकि teenagers decision making नहीं कर पाते. I think they're struck with the brighter side syndrome, या जिसको psychology में कहते हैं story bias. As humans, we want to believe in things कि हाँ A होगा तो B होगा तो उससे C जरूर हो जाएगा. हम ये मानने को तैयार नहीं है कि C के बिना B भी आ जाता है लाइफ में. तो वो स्टोरी बायस जो है वो हमारे सारे डिसीजंस को बहुत इम्पैक्ट करता है. Over the course of these so many web talks, when we have talked to so many principals, हमें एक चीज समझ में आई, that what we really need to teach or what we really need to tell them is not career counseling. It's basically decision making. कि डिसीजन मेकिंग के कौन कौन से मॉडल्स होते हैं, अगर आप एक डिसीजन लेते हैं तो कैसे लेते हैं, उसका बेस क्या होता है, और वो डिसीजन होके आपको कैसे कैसे इम्पैक्ट करता है. बिकॉज द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज दैट वी फेस इज परसेप्टिव डिसीजन मेकिंग. हम केवल और केवल अपने आसपास के 4-5 लोगों के परसेप्शन से डिसीजंस लेके आगे बढ़ जाते हैं. तो ये स्टोरी बायस, परसेप्टिव डिसीजन मेकिंग, ये इतने कॉम्प्लेक्स इश्यूज को इतने मास पर कैसे सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. लेट्स ट्राई टू नो इट फ्रॉम द नेक्स्ट स्कूल लीडर टुडे. लेट मी इनवाइट द नेक्स्ट स्पीकर फॉर टुडे, मिस्टर त्रिलोक सिंह बिस्ट, द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ दिल्ली पब्लिक स्कूल गाजियाबाद वसुंधरा from Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh. Trilok, over to you for the next 3 minutes and a very warm welcome.
Thank you for inviting me to this. I had a long day. Just now I was in a meeting. So I would just say, first of all, thank you to you for collecting all of us here to learn from each other. Because career counseling has become a buzzword today. Every school is talking about the career counseling. Why there's a need for the career counseling? Do we actually need? Because we are living in a VUCA world. We are living in a highly volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world where what we are teaching our children today to help them after 5 years, it's I know, not I know, not anybody knows about it. So it's going to be a very, very uncertain and ambiguous world for the children. So in that situation, if the children are caught very young as to what is their interest, where their interest lies, or as a teacher, we are able to tap the potential of the children, give them the direction right from the childhood only, not to wait for 11th and 12th to talk about the career counseling and all. We have to tap the potential of the children, and we need to have a proper career counselors in every school today, because assessment of up-to-date academic progression of any child or up-to-date co-curricular progression and the extracurricular progression of the children who are involved into different activities has to be seen right from class 6 onwards. We have to see where my child's interest lies. If he's good at acting and all, and parents are forcing maths and science on the child, it is not going to work in the long run, because we are living in the 21st century. We can have the parental verdict forced on the parents, like what happens most of the parents. I could not be successful in becoming a doctor, so I want to fulfill my unfulfilled dreams through my child, whether the child has a capability or not. We are imposing our dreams on our children. So that's why a proper career counselor who not only counsels the children, does have the parental session, talks to the parents one-on-one on the up-to-date academic progression or the co-curricular and the extracurricular involvement of the child right from the child is young. And we must know how to start creating a student profile. Though we are doing it from pre-nursery only, but from 6th onwards, every school should start making a profiling of a child as to what the child's interest is, so that we can create or finalize a resume for the child by the time he comes to 10th, 11th, and 12th. And the child has, option A, option B, option 3. He must have some kind of a fallback. They must have the alternate options with them. Becoming a doctor and engineer is no more the norm as such. I find that class 10 going for humanities in class 11. The ones who are getting 100%, they go for humanities. Whereas the ones who are scoring 60%, they are still craving for PCM. So, we can't say, even if the child has got 60%, wants PCM, and if it is intrinsic interest of the child, We can give, we can experiment, we can see the child can do very well in the long run. It has to be child's interest, not the parental verdict or the peer pressure or something like that. So therefore, we need to guide the children from class 10th, 11th and 12th specifically to prepare the customized college and roadmap for the children. It's not only placement, doesn't mean jobs. Placement is, we are talking about career counseling and university placement for the children. If you are giving a proper university placement to the children who are passing out from my school, I think we are creating global citizens who will be well prepared with the kind of tools which are needed to face the 21st century. It could be liberal arts, it could be fashion designing, it could be any unconventional career option where the child can go in for. So guiding the children and identifying the right fit universities for the children. Every child is not cut for Harvard. Every child is not cut for Ashoka University. Every child is not cut for DU. Every child has a different potential. Accordingly, we try and identify the right fit university for the children. I think that will be a wonderful work done by the career counseling cell in a school. Then guidance to the children for the English language proficiency, whether it is IELTS, whether it is TOEFL, PTE, or anything else. I think if you ask me to speak, I'll speak for a long time because I have so many points which I've been discussing with the parents and students. So since the limit is 2 minutes, I'll just end up here. Thank you so much, Daksh.
Thank you so much, Trilok, sir. You talked about career assessment that should start from class 6 onwards. Career counselor is a must in all schools. I would rather suggest rather than just having one career counselor, the teachers need to be given an exposure जहाँ पे हर एक का एक छोटा सा career counseling package should be given to them ताकि वो छोटा सा पैकेज सबको अलाइन करता जाए. बिकॉज एक आदमी इतने बच्चों के लिए कुछ कर नहीं पाएगा, बट हाँ अगर सब जने थोड़ा थोड़ा कर देंगे तो शायद बहुत कुछ हो जाएगा. Student profiling must be done. Resume creation must start early. I think a very important activity that we have started, which even schools can do on their own, when you build a startup, so there's something called lean model canvas, which is typically a drawing of the organization that you're creating. I think there's something that we must all start doing within the schools, which is career canvassing. कि आप अपने करियर को भी कैनवास करना शुरू कीजिए, थोड़ा सा ड्रॉ करना शुरू कीजिए, क्या पता कब वो ड्राइंग पूरी हो जाए एंड यू आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड डीमिस्टिफाई योर ओन करियर एज अ चाइल्ड, और बाकी जो आसपास एडल्ट्स हैं उनके लिए भी आसानी बढ़ जाएगी ये अंडरस्टैंड करने में. आप जैसे स्टार्टअप्स में लीन मॉडल कैनवासिंग की जाती है टू अंडरस्टैंड द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बेटर, टू अंडरस्टैंड द प्रोडक्ट बेटर, उसी तरीके से आई थिंक करियर कैनवासिंग मस्ट ऑल्सो बी डन विद इन इंस्टीट्यूशंस सो दैट स्टूडेंट्स कैन ड्रॉ आउट देयर ओन करियर. They can also understand that how are they perceiving life and how is life really evoluting around them. So we have listened to all the speakers for once. Now let's have one concluding statement from Dr. Shoury and then we'll go into the open floor. अगर आप कुछ मिस कर गए थे, कुछ एक्स्ट्रा बोलना चाहते थे या कोई ऐसा पॉइंट था इसके पहले आप म्यूट हो गए, so then it will be your time to speak up again and open your audios. Shoury sir, over to you for your closing remarks. कि आप अभी तक के डिस्कशन में as an higher education expert, as somebody who keeps a tap on career counseling and how our careers evoluting, what do you think ki are we on the right track? Yeah, higher education or school education ke perceptions are far.
It's very humbling to have to do the concluding remarks, especially considering that we have the women on the table today are more in number, but see. I wouldn't really call this concluding remarks, but I would just say I'm probably adding on what has already been highlighted. We were part of an initiative from our Miss Amrita, our founder from Amrita Vidyapeetham. We were part of. We had created a module where we were looking at involving parents as well in career workshops. It was a tie-up with schools, and it was actually a trigger that came from a couple of schools that we had spoken to, where they said, see, one of the major challenges we face is the parents, because we all just spoke, doctor, engineer, or nothing else in the world, kind of a this thing, mentality. So, why I'm sharing this anecdote is there was something very interesting that came there. There were about 150 people in the audience. They were, and about 40% of them were parents. So we asked this question to the students who were there. We said, see, who do you think is the, in this entire world, who do you think is a person who knows you best? Yeah. So we gave them options: friends, teachers, parents, relatives, I don't know, girl or boyfriends, etc. So from everybody, from all the options, the unanimous choice was, nahi sir, our parents. Either my mother or father or my parents are the people who know me the best. They know my skills. They know my temperament. May not be aptitude, because that the school will probably know more. But they all unanimously agreed that, top of the pyramid is parents. Now, second question was, whom do you most often turn to when you require advice on choosing a career? Yeah. And we gave them the same set of options. Of course, it wasn't a back-to-back question, because then it would be a giveaway. After a couple of things that we spoke about, then we asked them, okay, whom do you normally turn to? And top of the pyramid was friends. Top of the pyramid was friends, as in not friends who are in industry, etc. Yeah, my benchmates, the chap who's sitting next to me on the bench. Yeah, he's on top of the list. After that, to some extent, friends, relatives from outside. Then after a lot of this thing, teachers came, and then parents were at the bottom of the pyramid. Why? Because no, my parents don't know anything about what is happening outside. So when I shifted this, there are 40% parents in that audience. So then I shifted this thought to the parents. It's like, why is this? Students think that you don't know anything. So then parents have a self-defense mechanism which kicks in. They say, no. It is the students who keep picking all odd careers which, are not money-making. We need to ensure that the students are well settled in their lives after 5 years, because after that, 5 years or 10 years, because after that, we as parents will not be around. Yeah. So I'm just trying, and incidentally, this was a parenting career counseling seminar, and these were the things that were coming up. Yeah. So I don't know from all the collective experience we have had, I'm sure the other panelists also would have been in sessions or seminars, or at least within a group of people where they would have also experienced similar challenges. Yeah. So that's one thought I felt I could table here.
ये जो star comparison है, this could only have come out from.
Yeah.
Am I audible now? Yeah.
Yes.
So this stark comparison could only have come out of a first-hand primary research that you have done within a group that you had. Now we are into an open floor. So if you want to add something, if there's something that was missed, if you want to put forth another point, you can unmute yourself. The only thing, take care of each other. And this is for the next 5 to 7 minutes. Yes, Sonia, please.
Could I
Please.
take? Thank you so much. Dr. Shoury, I would say that it was more of a real life scenario that it was a deep dive into, and I was going on and I was flowing. It looked as if my little past, which has come into my future, wherein we were told, do this and go ahead and life settle karo, get married, bache karo, and do it. But presumably today, in tier 1, I'm bringing certain things here, little categorizing them. Tier 1, children are well versed with their aptitude and attitude, yet we are there to monitor there. I can fall back on them, and I need to choose it very wisely. So am I audible? Am I audible and visible? Yeah, great. So it is depending on many factors, the schools where they go to, their demography, their geography, their interest, the peer pressure that you brought in so beautifully, Dr. Shoury. And if I was there in the audience, I would say, I think I know myself better, but I will still turn to my parents, because at the end of the day, they are going to fund my things and help me get little loan. And as a career counselor, new into this field, being in this industry for almost 3 decades, I have understood it's the parent's choice versus the child's choice that conflict needs to resolve in the initial stages of counseling. And then we which country you want to go, which course you want to take, which college. Harvard, Oxford are always available for a 60% and for a cent percenter. Everyone wants to go to Harvard, but look at your profile, look at your LOR, look at your SOP, look at your profile that you have built up over 4 years. Have you done enough of community service? Have you been in good touch with your teachers that they can give you a good letter of recommendations? Have you done your little service at a polyclinic nearby? Have you given that empathy or connected with human very precisely? So there the life skills come up, there the respect form comes up. It's a vast field where we put the blocks together to make a profile and let the child go to the outer world and achieve what you want to. These are my ending comments, Daksh. Thank you so much.
I'll be talking about, see, as far as schools are concerned, I think it's there in NEP also at present. We have started talking about, the internships in schools. So I think more than the career counseling session, of course, they are also important. But apart from them, these internships, little internships that we will start off with, maybe industry related, or maybe, some engagement activity related, which is related to a profession. I think these are the ones which are going to guide the students in a much better way, because see, there is, when we talk about career counseling by a career counselor, it's more theoretical, but that practical approach is somewhere missing. So as you said, the decision making, the problem solving, these skills, they come only when the child enters into some kind of profession, gets an experience of it, feels it, and then acknowledges it, and then makes a decision. Yeah, this is what I'm meant for, or this is my skill that I can develop on. So until and unless that experience is not there, so the child, maybe the decision that the child takes may not be the right decision. It may not be his passionate decision. So these internships that are going to be added on now, probably they are going to bring about a big change in the schools, provided, of course, we take them in, the way we take it up, that's very important. We connect to more and more industries around, we connect to those professionals around, we get them to school, or we take the children out, expose them to different careers. I think that's going to bring about a big change. And it'll be, career counseling being a standalone kind of an activity for making an informed choice by the students. So this is going to be an add-on to that career counseling sessions, providing a lot of experience to the students. So let's hope, and I am personally hoping that it will bring about big changes in schools, at school level, at a very young age. We say that let's catch them young. So probably this is one thing that is going to catch them young.
Experience sharing to experimentation with career.
Yes.
Let's do a lot of small little internships.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if anybody wants to add next, you can take the next 1 minute. We'll then, yes, Trilok sir, please.
Yes, so I was listening to everyone, and I must say, Dr. Shoury, what he was talking about, that the parental sessions are very, very important. And actually, the parents have a mindset. We need to change the mindset of the parents. Everything will fall at place automatically. I believe that the children need to be knowing about the unconventional career options, because there's so many unconventional career options are coming up now. What you're doing, Daksh, right now, it's a very unconventional career option today. We never thought of creating this kind of a portal, but today you're doing it and doing it so successfully. And your portal is doing so well. All the elite people are coming and talking over here, and we are feeling privileged of being here. This is one example. Then, different portals for school admissions coming up these days. Children can create their own apps. I think all these are very, very important. I think the parents' mindset has to change. That doctor, engineer, and medical, or the CA or something like that has to come out of their mind, and they have to broaden up their horizon actually. And for this, I must say, as just how my previous speaker said, we need to catch them young. So creating a profile of the child right from the childhood. Today we have to talk about the foundational domain and the scholastic domain in equal measures. 50% activities, sports and all, and 50% academics. All work and no, all play and no study used to make Tom a dull boy. But today it doesn't happen. Today, 2020, 23 onwards, sports will be taking a front seat altogether, because that is something where the AI will not work, the machine learning will not work. You will have to learn those life skills and quickly run and get that medal and win that particular game. But for everything else, slowly and gradually, we are getting it digitalized altogether. We are moving towards AI and machine learning. But then the communication skill amongst our children is very, very important. Be it Hindi, English, Urdu, or whichever the language the children are speaking, they should be very proficient with their language, because that will help them sell whatever the product they are creating through the machine learning or the artificial intelligence. I think the children have to widen up their horizon also. And children, when we say the peer pressure, sometimes a peer discussion becomes very, very helpful for the children. Getting into a group of 10, 12 and having some discussion, and something beautiful comes out of it. We need to propagate the children, create some kind of, we call it internships or the community service. All these things are also very, very important besides being very good at academics. So I think these are the pointers which have already been talked about. The most important is to have regular parental counseling in the school. Parent-teacher meeting should turn into parental counseling. And as I said, we have most of HRT we call homeroom teacher. Every homeroom teacher is a career counselor as well. We give them the career counseling and behavioral counseling sessions as well, so that our teachers know how to handle the children, how to counsel the children at the behavior or the academics board. So I think every school can train their HRTs to be the career counselors, because that one or two career counselors, where, as you said, will not be able to reach out to everyone. So for the behavior counselor, we have the students who are becoming peer educators, mini counselors. But for academics, it's the teachers who can be, every class teacher can be a career counselor for their children. These are some of the points which come to my mind at such a short notice. That's it. Thank you so much for inviting us all.
Thank you so much, Trilok sir. So we have now listened to most of the speakers. सभी की हमने बात एक बार वापस जो points add करना चाहते थे वो भी सुनने की कोशिश की. And I think what we all agree upon is that perception बहुत ज्यादा सारी चीजों को drive करता है और उसमें भी parent perception कुछ ज्यादा ही drive करता है. And when we talk of counseling a child for his career needs or career choices, we actually need to counsel the parent more. वो parent teacher meeting को evolute होना होगा. It has to come into an ideation mode जहाँ पे थोड़ा सा वो प्लेटफॉर्म ओपन हो जाए, लोग बातचीत कर पाए और ज्यादा बात करने की अपॉर्चुनिटीज क्रिएट करनी होंगी. एंड व्हेन वी टॉक ऑफ ऑल दिस, आई थिंक अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एलिमेंट कम्स इनटू दिस. वी नीड टू फाइंड मोर स्टोरीज. आपको कहीं ना कहीं से और कहानियां ढूंढनी होगी, बिकॉज आप कितना भी कुछ भी कर लीजिए, ह्यूमंस स्टोरी बायस रहेंगे ही. और अगर वो कहानियां केवल सीए, डॉक्टर और इंजीनियर की ही होंगी, तो आपको सीए, डॉक्टर और इंजीनियर ही मिलेंगे. आपको उनके बियॉन्ड जाना है, तो आपकी स्टोरीज को और एवोल्यूट करना होगा. So that's what we simply try to do at Blub World every single month. हम हर महीने कोशिश करते हैं कि कोई ऐसी नई कहानी ढूंढे जो बच्चों को उनकी जिंदगी से रिलेट करा सके या बच्चा अपने आप को उसके अंदर देख सके. So every month that's what we do, try to find a teenager who's doing amazingly well in life and share their stories with many more teens. Because we now need to understand that peer pressure that we talk of is the actual peer performance that will help these teenagers take better decisions. हम इन्हें यूथ कहते हैं. यूथ टर्म में इतना बड़ा रेंज ऑफ एज आता है जो करीबन 13-14 से शुरू हो जाता है और 24-25 साल की उम्र तक जाता है. And I think there needs to be a clear-cut segregation that when you talk of teens, things change a lot. And I think school leaders know a lot about teenagers that parents need to understand. So let's try to delve a little deeper into what teens really want. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of the Blub World Web Talk. It was the 188th episode. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope we keep receiving a lot of love from you that we've already been getting. Thank you so much, everyone. Namaste. Have an amazing evening ahead. Thank you.
And you do amazingly well. Keep doing the good job, Daksh.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.